Fonterra, Milk in Schools, there's a Breakfast in Schools program, there's Kids Cam, there's a lot happening already thanks to the national-led government.
Well, what I'd say is education is, for many people, the route out of poverty. But hungry kids are not in a position to learn.
And the hungry kids are being served. Those that don't need food are not.
Well,
that's the way it should be.
Actually, what some are discovering is that lunch is, in fact, more important than breakfast. And actually...
What do you mean? Why? Where is that research from?
So hang on a second. So a school like Manurewa High School, for example, actually started providing toasted sandwiches for the kids who needed a lunch. And what happened was that attendance increased, NCEA grades improved. So actually providing breakfast in schools, but also school lunches in decile 1 to 4 schools, which is Green Party policy, actually that makes a significant difference in kids' educational achievement and health.
Let's jump over to David then, Carmel. What about that? What about the US model? Heavily subsidised, you pay at the school 35, 40 cents, no kid goes hungry in New Zealand, no kid at all. That sounds like ACT to me.
Well, it's also extremely centralised, and my view is it should actually be left up to the school, because Kevin's right, that we don't know, sitting in Wellington, exactly what the right way is to spend funds at a particular school.
But shouldn't you?
Perhaps on the East Coast. Well, actually, no. Usually people in their communities know more about what they want than people in Wellington know about them.
So leave it up to the school, all right? Yeah. Okay. Carmel, what do you hear when you hear that? Leave it up to the school because they know best. Leave it up to them.
And the council and electorate, and I've been around to many of the schools, it is a major issue. So they do need some support there. We do.
So lots of kids hungry. Lots of kids hungry in your electorate.
Lots of kids hungry and they cannot learn. But I mean, it's not just about, although Labor is committed to this, supporting those low decile schools to make sure that the kids are fed so that they can learn.
What about this?
It's also about the wider issues, like the fact that their parents are earning wages that are not high enough for them to be able to put food on the table. Or their parents are struggling because of the fact that we are still experiencing high levels of unemployment.
Chris, let's talk about that because that's the real issue, eh? The minimum wage here in Aotearoa, $14 whatever an hour, is not high enough in this day and age. And you guys got to do a lot better.
Yeah, well, we've raised the minimum wage every year we've been in office.
Incrementally.
Yep.
Incrementally.
Because here's the important thing to remember. There's a trade-off between raising a minimum wage and employment.
That's rubbish.
No, there is.
That's rubbish.
Oh, okay, if there's no trade-off, make the minimum wage. If there's no trade-off, let me finish. Make the minimum wage $50 an hour.
We're not looking
you would
to make
see
it $50
mass
an hour.
unemployment. Exactly.
Chris,
So that's the point, right? She's conceded the point. Of course, there's a trade-off between
lift
employment.
the minimum wage.
So we've got to lift wages.
That money goes round, they spend it.
All right, Carmel, write a reply to Chris.
So all the research shows us that you lift the minimum wage, those people on the lowest income spend every dollar that they earn. All of that money goes back into small businesses.
Well,
that money goes back around. It doesn't result in mass unemployment like the national government is trying to scaremonger to New Zealand.
Of course, that's true to a certain extent. But the official advice shows you raise the minimum wage to $18, which is the Labor and Greens policy, you will put 24,000 people out of work.
Okay, Kevin, respond to Chris.
So most of the jobs that are paid minimum wage are jobs with very large employers who are making significant healthy profits. Those employers can afford to pay $18 by 2017, which is the Green Party policy.
All right, okay. David Seymour, what's wrong? I mean, we're getting these working for family top-ups, we're getting all these sort of subsidies. Why not just lift the wage so people can have a decent living on the bottom of the rung? $18
I'm just
living
astonished
wage.
that you've got people in Parliament or who want to be, who ignore basic economics.
Okay,
Look,
That's right.
before we go, if you were the Prime Minister, what would the minimum wage be in New Zealand as of tomorrow?
$14.25.
All right. Okay.
But it would be there for quite some time.
For how long?
Indefinitely.
No. Can I just say, Wallace, I've just been running an organisation that hires non-regulated health workers, and we were able to make it a living wage organisation, and it's not going under.
Okay.
So it is possible.
All right, very good. Hey, look.